Every year about this time, we see people in medieval costumes throughout Butler County. They're in shopping centers, they're in stores, and many people wonder, who are these people and where are they from? Well, they're part of an encampment called Pennsic War over at Cooper's Lake in western Butler County. And they're here to participate. They don't allow people to come over to watch, to observe, but there are 10 to 15,000 participants from all over the country and from many countries around the world. So in this next half hour, we'll be talking about Pennsic War and learning who they are. Who are these people from an organization called the Society for Creative Anachronism? Pennsic War on Faces and Places. Let's find out about what the Pennsic War concept is. Lord FRANZ von HEILBRON is with us, and he is one of the participants, and he's been our guide during this tour of the Pennsic War at Cooper's Lake. What brought you to this whole concept? Why did you involve yourself with Pennsic War?
Well, now over 20 years ago in college, I discovered the Society for Creative Anachronism. And just kind of, I've always been interested in history, especially medieval history, and so this just seemed like a natural fit. In the years that I've been in, I've had many wonderful experiences. I've been coming here for many of those years and have got to see it grow and develop into the community that we now have.
Now, Franz, what happens out here during Pennsic War? It's a 17-day period, and what goes on, and why do you do these things?
I said the word before, and I can't say it enough. In these 2 weeks, we form a community, a true community. We have everything here from merchants to restaurants to medical facilities and also facilities for the carts that you see driving around for volunteers. Everything goes on here. You'll see battles, you'll see merchants selling their ware, you'll see artists crafting their ware, all of which is based on medieval designs, medieval elements, most of which is also well researched and well developed.
Now, families are here. I see some very young people, I see some larger tents with larger families. What brings them here?
Again, it's the shared interest in the society and the time period. You'll see everyone from little ones under 1 to older folks over 90.
Now, this is an unusual vacation in the eyes of most people. Everybody dresses up in a costume and a medieval gear, and everybody participates in some part of the program, but it's also a vacation, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a great chance to get out and have some fun. It's what one might call an active vacation. We're not just sitting by a pool somewhere. It's a great family opportunity. It's a wonderful opportunity for families to come out.
There are artisans here as well. What kind of artwork do they do?
You'll see everything as we visit Artists Row later. There's clothing, there are shoes, there's weapon and armaments, as well as more traditional jewelry and artwork.
This is a large organization, and it seems like they're always here in Butler County. Do they ever have an encampment somewhere else?
Okay, we have events all across the country, none as large as this. There may be events in your hometowns as small as 50 to 100 people. Those events are often open to the public, whereas this one is not.
Let's take a closer look at some of the activities here and meet some of the people. King Andreas Morgan, the king of some organization here. How does the structure of Pennsic work?
Pennsic is traditionally hosted here at this site, which is in the heart of our kingdom itself, the kingdom of Athelmark. And Athelmark is one of many kingdoms. Our organization has 19 kingdoms throughout the world. And every year at this time, we all converge here on this site and indulge in honorable combat.
So this is the World Center. Do many people come from foreign countries?
Yes, we have folks here from Australia, from Europe. Sometimes we even get folks from Japan.
Now, you're a history person. I know you come from an area of this country which is rich in history.
Yes.
Is that what started you on the whole Pennsic concept?
Not necessarily. That was something that I grew into. It took me a long time to find this organization. Not a lot of people know about it, but once I found it, and it is a way to learn beyond the textbook.
Now, you're the king of a kingdom. How many different kingdoms are involved?
There are 19 kingdoms, and most of them are here at this time.
Is there a conflict among the kingdoms?
Not a real one. We, for the sake of calling this a war, we do pick sides and war against each other, but it is all, excuse me, it is all in friendship and fun.
You come out here for 17 days every year. How many years have you been coming?
This would be about my 20th year.
What's your biggest attraction?
The people. The people you meet. I have met so many friends that I only see here every year. People that come from far away. This is my only opportunity to get to hang out with them and see them.
How do you get to be king?
Our kingdom is we have different kings. Every 6 months we change kings, and we host a tournament, a contest of arms, and the winner of that tournament becomes our next king.
So you're a king for 6 months, and what are your duties as king?
As what we do as king and queen is we go about our kingdom and we recognize people for doing service or their arts or their martial prowess.
Do you wish that you lived in those days, that you lived in medieval times rather than in the 21st century?
Actually, I don't. The medieval times were a pretty miserable time to be alive. So what we do is we try to recreate the era as it should have been, or we try to highlight on the good aspects of it.
Something that I've noticed out here, talking to some of the people and walking among the folks here, that they take the titles seriously. They called me Lord, for instance. Do they call you Your Majesty?
Yes, they do. And one of the aspects that we try to recreate is we consider everyone to be some form of nobility. There are no peasants here, and we respect each other in that regard. 10,000
or more people here at this very moment, probably more coming in. How big does this get in years to come?
It has potential to grow. I think we are prepared to see 15,000. I've seen it as little as 9,000. Generally, it's about 11 to 12, maybe 13,000 people show up. In the future, it continually grows. So who's to say? It may grow quite a bit larger.
Your Majesty, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
One of the major events here at Pennsic is combat. And we've been out here for a couple of days, and we've seen different groups with swords and other instruments of battle. And we've wondered what it's all about. We can't quite figure it out. So we have someone here to explain it to us. He is SINOU, and he is actually Duke Andreas here at Pennsic. And let's find out about what's going on here. You've been involved with all of this for a long, long time. Tell us about the structure of the battles.
Well, there's several battles that we do. There's 4 major battles. The other day we had what's called a town battle. We also had a bridge battle yesterday. Today we're doing champions battles. The best of fighters from each group are going to come out and test themselves against each other.
Now, how do you decide who the best of the battlers are?
Well, the last guy standing is gonna prove that. So we have a tournament, and we'll be doing some melee, which will be group combat, team combat, and it'll be to the last man. So they'll fight until the last man is standing.
We were watching this in the last couple of days, and we've seen the groups come together, and they look like they have broadswords and other kinds of instruments of battle. They don't actually hurt each other, do they? But there is some kind of contact.
There's definitely contact. It's full force, full speed, but we've got good armor. We have safety standards. It's not any more dangerous than when I was playing football. As a matter of fact, I'd say football is probably more dangerous than what we're doing. We're very well protected. We have people looking out for safety, and good sportsmanship is all around, so people try to look out for each other so they're not getting hurt.
The last battle we saw, there were hundreds of people on each side. Is there a special formation? Are there smaller groups that make up the larger group?
Yes, sir. There's people that come from all over the country. They belong to kingdoms. There's 19 kingdoms in the entire world and spread out through the entire world. And if you join the SCA, you live in a particular region, you fight for your kingdom. or you fight for your household. And they choose allies at the beginning of the war, and they try to keep the sides as even as possible, and then they make a battle plan and they have at it.
Is this the way it was back in medieval times?
Oh, I don't know for sure. We try to recreate the best parts of the medieval days, and without the treachery and the disease and everything. But people are allies, and we try to switch up the allies from year to year, so there's no hard feelings.
Are there different kinds of maneuvers that you teach these folks so they do it right?
Yeah, well, just like in real medieval times and in modern day military units, you have units that practice hard and really try to get very good at their craft, and then you have some people that want to come out just a couple times a year. So you have what we call baronial levy units, which are the lesser skilled units, and then you have some of the more elite units. And the elite units will do some more difficult maneuvers, and the levy units will probably stick in a block together and just kind of have them kind of herded in between the more elite units.
How do you determine that somebody's killed or out of action?
A hard hit to the head or the body is a kill. This is a chivalry sport, so it's on your own honor. If you get hit hard in the head, you go, oh, that's good enough to kill me, or hard in the body. If you get hit hard in the leg, you fight from your knees. If you get hit in the arm, you lose the use of that arm.
Is this more or less on an honor system? Somebody who is hit one way or the other determines how far they can go?
Absolutely. It's definitely an honor system. We have what we call marshals, but they're not referees per se. They're there for safety reasons. This is an honor sport.
Let's talk about the outfits. Some of them are really elaborate. Is there one source of those outfits, or does each one make each outfit themselves?
There's sources where you can buy commercial-made products, but a lot of these people make their own stuff. There's a lot of talent here. People come off join the SCA is brand new, and within a few years they're applying their learning talents and making their own gear.
I see many different insignias, many medallions. Does that represent any particular segment?
Many of the medallions are awards that are given out by kingdoms or baronies. You'll see people walking around here with white belts. White belts are knights. Knights are what we would consider our black belts of the sport. Knights are usually made after 7 or 10 years of training. It's a long try, and then you'll also see crowns on people, and the crowns mean different things too. Let's
talk about the motivation. Do people join this organization because they want to be in combat, or are there some other reasons?
I think everybody's got different reasons. There's certainly a large portion of people that want to do a contact sport. There's some people that just love history and they just want to be a part of a historical group. And study and learn more about history, and then there's people that kind of fall in between. And when I joined myself, I was more into the contact, and then after I joined, I really started getting into the history, and I wanted to learn more about history.
Are definitely major winners here each time you come here to Pennsic in Western Pennsylvania?
Yeah, there are some groups that that fight very well, and they're gonna do very well regardless. And as long as the numbers are even, there are some groups that are going to excel very well.
When we're looking at combat, as outsiders, what should we look for?
Well, there's so much to look for. First of all, there's all different types of weapons. There's single-handed weapons, there's two-handed weapons, there's 9-foot-long spears, there's siege equipment, there's people with archery equipment, so there's a lot to watch. But to watch a battle develop on a large scale, like you'll see on Friday for the field battles, you'll see large units moving in mass. And those are the units to watch because they're going to make the plays out there. You'll see some small groups moving around, but those large, massive units, when they collide, they're going to make or break the day.
Now, just a while ago, we saw 2 people in the middle of the field. Nobody else was around. Were they just practicing?
Probably warming up, being that we're going to have the Champions battles coming up real shortly. They're probably warming up for the Champions battles.
Of all the combat moments here at Pennsic, what would you say would be the most important, or at least the most exciting to watch for an outsider?
I would say the field battle. The field battle, there's a tremendous amount of pageantry. The units will march out on the battlefield with their units. They'll have banners, they'll have uniforms, and then they'll line up, and then when the cannon goes off, you'll see the units advancing on the battlefield. You'll hear the clash of the weapons, the clash of the shields. I'd say by far the field battle is the most exciting.
Very interesting. Thanks so much. Nice to be with you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are featured on Armstrong local programming. Meet fascinating people, visit new places, enjoy special events. Armstrong has our community like no one else. Hometown favorites are available on demand with your television plus subscription, or find a complete program schedule at ArmstrongOneWire.com. Local programming exclusively from Armstrong. One Wire, infinite possibilities.
Your Pennsic name is Wormwood. It's nice to meet you. I understand you're directing a play group here?
That's correct. I'm directing the performance of Anne of the Thousand Days with the Known World Players.
The known world, that's a phrase that I've heard before. What's that got to do with the whole Pennsic concept?
Pennsic is a gathering together of many people within the SCA coming together for 2 weeks to learn, to study, to have fun with each other. The known world encompasses all of the kingdoms within the SCA that covers geographically almost the entire world.
As it was known then.
As it was known then and as it's known now. We have chapters in countries that at the time of the period didn't exist, such as America itself. Most of America wasn't known of during the period that the SCA studies.
So now you're the director of the Known World Players. Have you performed many times before coming here?
I have performed some in high school and college. I spent 10 years with the Renaissance Fair in New Jersey, and I have performed in 2 of the plays that were done here at Pennsic in years past.
How did you recruit the players for this performance coming up here this week?
This was done, as is any theater production, with auditions. The oddity to our environment is that we had the auditions at last year's Pennsic. So these people were auditioned and cast almost a year before we all gathered together here to put the show together.
Did you find some pretty good talent?
I found some amazing talent. My 2 leads, Eric here and Trisola. Eric here has acted with us before, and I had him pretty much handpicked for this role from having seen him perform before. Trisola is new to our troupe, but she has a lot of acting experience, and the 2 of them together have just made the backbone for the show to all come together.
Do the Known World Players only play during this 17-day Pennsic War session here in Butler County?
Typically, that has been our prime performance times. We are trying to expand our ability to perform at other SCA events at other times.
Well, you're here. Do you get to see any of the other activities since you're so tied up with this show?
That, unfortunately, for me is one of the drawbacks to being into this, is I'm keeping myself available to my cast. If somebody's having problems with lines and they need some extra time just to sit down and drill, I'm making myself available for that. I have been lucky that I've been able to get to a couple of the Siege Engines events, which is another aspect of work in the society that I'm really looking forward to getting more involved in, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get to one of the battles this year to take part in that as well.
Good luck with the show. Thanks very much. Good to meet you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Johannes RAMSEY is a smithy, a blacksmither. How long have you been doing this?
Since I was 11, about 39 years.
Now, why do you come out here?
Enjoy the company, enjoy the camping, and I enjoy the society as a whole. Everyone here is interested and interesting enough to be studying something and making an honest effort at recreating the Middle Ages.
Do they come to you to buy any of your products, or is it merely for demonstration?
Mostly for demonstration, although I do some trading. I don't sew much myself, so I'll make a gadget or kitchen equipment of one sort or another and trade it to somebody who made me a tunic.
Is a blacksmith today the same way it has been through the ages?
Essentially, the fuel changes, the way you deliver the air changes, but essentially you get the metal hot. You put it between an immovable object and an irresistible force, and it moves. You do that forming, and that forming doesn't change whether you're using charcoal and a bellows or a gas forge.
Is there enough work for a blacksmith? Who needs the services?
Well, in our society, we need all kinds of stuff. Our biggest seller are tent pegs, the little plastic ones that come from Walmart. Just won't cut it for these big tents. So we have made literally hundreds and hundreds of these large spikes just to keep the tents from blowing away.
Now, you don't do this for a living. You do it because you love to do it. What's so wonderful about it for you?
I like the feel of it. I like the creation process. There are elements of design when you're pulling off otherwise simple items. If I can show you, like for instance, these are gravity hooks. A lot of these tents have square poles that hold up the walls. You hang this on the square pole, and then you can hang a lantern inside your tent.
Tell us what it takes to make that.
Basically, you get it hot, you do a draw out here in this section, and till you draw it down in square to the dimensions that you're interested in. Then you round it, then you twist and form it into the shape of the hook. You go around to the other side, and these are just a couple of relatively simple bends. And once you have these bends in, then you get it hot in the center, throw it in and twist for appearance's sake.
Just twist it?
Yep. Lock it up in the vise we have over there, grab it with a pair of pliers or tongs, twist it around.
How long does it take for it to cool down so you can pick it up?
Oh, not more than 10 or 15 minutes usually for a piece of stock this size.
So you come to Pennsic to show everybody what blacksmithing used to be back in those days in the early centuries, but it's actually the same today.
Largely, yes. When I work at home, it's the biggest difference is that I don't have to dress quite this way.
It's nice to meet you. Thanks very much. Jason Klein is a glass blower. Let's learn about glass blowing here at Pennsic. When did you start glass blowing?
Well, I started glass blowing about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago, at Tulane University. And it was mostly sculptural, but I've always had a fondness for the variety of historical wares that you see here at the shop.
Is it hard to do?
It's very hard to do. The learning curve is much like a musical instrument. It's very slow, and a lot of failure is involved with learning the basic process.
Before we talk about the artistic end of it, let's talk about the mechanical end. How do you start? What do you need? What materials do you need? What tools do you need to blow glass?
Well, that's an excellent question. You need to start basically with a furnace at around 2,000 degrees, kept at 2,000 degrees 24 hours a day with a large crucible of molten glass. And you'll keep that at that temperature and gather the glass out with iron rods, some of them hollow, so that you can inflate the glass, and some solid so you can add bits of glass as the particular piece dictates.
Now, when you're cooking glass at that temperature, it's always pliable, is it?
Well, the hotter the glass is what they call a supercooled liquid. The hotter it is, the more fluid it's going to be. So you'll keep it at a fairly high temperature so it has the consistency of cold honey.
Now, when you're doing a design, some kind of a molding with glass, while you're doing it, doesn't the temperature lower so it causes the glass to congeal?
That's very astute, actually. The glass is constantly cooling down as it's in the air, and as it cools, it moves less. So we're constantly reheating it. From beginning to end, you want to go making as few mistakes as possible. It should look easy because you really only get one shot at it.
What's the most elaborate piece you've ever made?
Oh boy, usually that's what I don't know how to make at the time. Kind of like a song you don't know. But I would say the alchemy equipment that I make up there is some of the more elaborate equipment that I make in the shop.
Here at Pennsic, is there much interest in glass making, glass blowing?
I think so. It's very exciting. The feedback has been very positive. We don't have, because of the extensive nature of the equipment, you really don't have a lot of opportunities to see glass blowing here. I've been doing it over the last 5 years, and it's been done sporadically over the last 25 years.
Are your products much better today than they were some years ago?
Absolutely. My products today are better than they were last year. I always strive to get better and push the envelope on the skill building process of the glass blowing.
Is the equipment any different from the way it was maybe 500 years ago?
Oh yes, we would be using wood to heat the glass. I'm using propane and electricity to heat the glass. So the electricity is the closest thing in that it's a very soft heat. And I'm using what's called pot metal glass this year. It's an experimental furnace that I brought to have glass that's already homogeneously colored, as opposed to adding small chips or powdered color to give the proper look to the glass.
Something interesting here at Pennsic. Nice to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you as well. Have a great day.
Thank you. Lady Genevieva von Lubeck, how are you?
I am good, thank you.
I understand you're a relative newcomer to Pennsic War.
I am. This is my second war, and I've only been in the SCA for about 1 year.
You say your second war. That sounds strange.
It does, doesn't it? I love war. That sounds very strange.
Now, you have a particular craft here. What is it?
These are the fiber arts. So I have embroidery, and my gold work, and my sewing, and my smocking.
When you first found out about Pennsic War, what was your first impression?
Oh, I want to go. That was my first impression. I heard about it in the mid-'90s from a very good friend of mine who is actually the princess of the Middle Kingdom right now, because she's been doing it much longer than I have. And I'm like, oh, I want to go someday, but I was a little scared.
What do you like so much about it?
There's 12, 15,000 people here, all doing things they love and they're passionate about it. What's not to love? I get to camp, I get to have fun, I get to hang out with friends and my family.
So your family's here now?
Yes, my mother and my son, whose birthday is today, and my boyfriend, all here.
When you first came here, you came from Michigan. That's a long trip. How do you get here?
By car, in a trailer. That's very full.
Now, there are some people that may be coming interested in this whole Pennsic idea who are watching right now. What would you tell them to try to get them to come next year?
To come next year, I would say don't let this be your very first thing that you do. This is overwhelming. Instead, find your nearby SCA chapter, go to a meeting, go to a smaller event, see if you like it. And if you like it, then come here, because this is a really big deal. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Good to talk to you.
It's good to talk to you too.
Queen BRIANNA ODUINN is with us. Your Majesty, how long have you been a queen?
I've been a queen for about 4 months. Before that, I was princess for 5 months.
Where are you from?
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Do you come to these Pennsic Wars very often?
This is probably about my 10th.
Do you remember what got you coming here in the first place?
I was actually drug kicking and screaming by a friend of mine that I've known since high school. And I fell in love with it and been coming as much as possible since.
What is it in the Pennsic War situation that you like so much?
Well, it is not the heat, that's for sure. It's the ambiance, it's the people, it's the atmosphere.
Everybody seems so friendly here.
Absolutely. I don't think I've had any bad experience as far as people or anyone being rude. And that's saying a lot considering the extreme conditions we're in.
I know it rained very heavily last night. It's getting very warm right here as we speak.
It is, but you know, I've been to a Pennsic where we had, I think, 3 days at over 100-degree weather. So this sounds pretty good to me.
Now that crown you're wearing, you told me earlier, is pretty heavy?
It is heavy. I think it's about 5 to 7 pounds.
Is that an authentic piece from the Middle Ages?
Oh, no, it's not. It is a reproduction, but it is actually made of sterling silver, and the gems on it are actual gems.
Now, you are involved with Pennsic for some time now. Does that get you interested in the whole history of the medieval days?
It does, and of course, there are varying degrees. Some people here are more interested in the history. Some people just like playing dress up. So we have people who can quote you history like you wouldn't believe. And then we have people who just like coming in and pretending. So everything in between.
I know there are a lot of people here who are volunteers, and they help make this Pennsic experience a pleasant one in all different phases. I know you have some relationship with the volunteers.
Yes, well, everyone that actually is here for the Pennsic War is a volunteer. There are no paid positions other than the staff of Cooper's Lake. So everyone that is here on their own dime. And we try to, you know, as monarchs, we get to reward those people and say, you know, if nothing else, even the person who is only putting in a couple of hours, we try to say thank you as the smallest, and then of course there are bigger awards for people who put in more and more time.
Your Highness, it's nice to meet you. Thanks you very much for this time.
Thank you for your time.
I hope you've enjoyed our visit to the Pennsic War encampment here at Cooper's Lake in western Butler County. I'm Larry Berg. We'll see you next time on Faces and Places.